Jeremy asks, why do so many Scorpio men have lots of kids? That's a beautiful question. The first reason is because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the planet of life and death. In order to have life, we need to engage in sexual activity, right? So Scorpio is very obsessed with their sexual reproductive organs in general, and they're very obsessed with the concept of the afterlife, like what happens after we're dead, what happens on the other side. And Scorpio fundamentally knows that children are born from the other side. I don't care what religion Scorpio is a part of, they have a deep respect for the fact that spirits that form children in this reality come from another place where they aren't currently. That you can summon a spirit from another world. There's something about that process that's very exciting for Scorpio. In a way, impregnating somebody is casting a spell over them and summoning them to create, in the case of a heterosexual, to create a version of yourself through them. You're using them as a vessel. Scorpio in astrology rules the 8th house, which is the house of money, but it's a different type of money than Taurus. For Taurus is about governing monies on earth. For Scorpio, it's about borrowing money. Scorpio is very much so a debt. Scorpio is very good at cleaning out debt when they commit to that process, that is. Scorpio is excellent with money management for that reason, because Scorpio can see through the BS of any situation. They don't like to associate with things that do not bring them worth of value, okay? So if me as a Scorpio, I struggle with ending relationships because I'm a fixed sign. Because I'm a fixed sign, I don't like things to end. All fixed signs don't like things to end. But Scorpio is the only one out of the 4 fixed signs that is super emotional, okay? And that feels things very intensely. So when a Scorpio man makes a connection with a woman or man to man, whatever relationship you have, they're doing so with the desire of experiencing something intense, life altering with that individual. Because again, they have an obsession with life and death. So everything they do, they like to push it to the edge of life and death so they can feel something powerful, something poignant, something new, something that humbles them, that softens them, something that brings tears to their eyes so they can feel alive again. They need tenderness. They crave tenderness. And they don't have any of their own. So they feed off of others. Because Scorpio did not grow up with all of the goodies that Taurus had. Taurus was given all the goods, and all of Scorpio's goods were taken. So one has, one doesn't have. But they're both are sent here to get. What Taurus needs is to learn that true power is within. And what Scorpio needs is to learn that they can use all of their investigation skills to investigate themselves so they become better versions of themselves, so that they become more trustworthy, so that more people want to invest in them. People naturally want to believe in you, Scorpio. But the problem is sometimes you don't want to do the work that is necessary for you to transform and evolve. And that work requires letting go. That work requires releasing. Oftentimes you don't want to release because you're a fixed sign. So you like to hold on to feelings forever. So you're with this girl, you like the girl, but don't like her to the point where you want to marry her. But because you're so obsessed in that moment with wanting to feel something powerful and deep, you decide you're going to take a chance on this situation to see what happens. But never mind that you're a master spellcaster, that everything that you want, you get, your power. So now you put this energy on this person of never wanting this person to leave your life, right? And then you still have the nerve to be surprised that this person ended up getting pregnant. What did you think was going to happen? I do, and this still hits. I wonder if you have Scorpio placements inside a role. Hi, Lulu. Thanks for being here. A long time no see. Yeah, Scorpio manifests everything they want. The problem for them is they have very little self-control and very, very, very little discipline. Okay? Very little discipline, very little self-control. Scorpio is that toxic lover that demands that their lover be faithful while they're cheating. And they will see nothing wrong with that. That's Scorpio for you. They're great until they don't make sense. Because the kind of stuff that Scorpio puts their lovers through, their lovers could never dream to put them through that. Scorpio, am I lying? If that girl was to give you 20% of this energy that you give, would you even still be talking to her? AJ is just laughing. It's true. Scorpio likes to put their lovers through obstacle courses because they think it's a game. They're like, let me turn up the heat to see how you react. Let me turn it up some more, see how you react. Now, let me turn it up some more, see how you act. They're always testing. But if you were to turn that on them, to test them, they will have an issue. Like, how dare you ask me for such and such and such? How dare you question my loyalty? That's Scorpio. This is what they love to do. That's what they love to do. This is where the responsibility and the discipline comes from. Like, they want the power, but they don't want the discipline and the responsibility. They want the power and still act like a child. And they don't understand why that's a problem. Like, power means you don't get to do what you want to do when you want to do it. That's literally what it means. Have you ever looked at a president? Have you ever looked at a king? Do you think these people get to do what they want to do when they want to do it? You really think if Barack Obama was popping off every time someone said something insulting or racist, that he still would have had a second term? Do you think so? I don't. Jeremy said, we do test them because we know people will leave and we are prepared to fully commit. Yeah, Scorpio is manipulative. Scorpio is manipulative. Scorpio likes to control situations. So Scorpio will cast a spell to impregnate. So a Scorpio will cast a spell. Can you guys tap on the screen for me, please? I just got locked out. To kind of wake up the app. You guys there? Thank you, Texas Renee, for doing that. So Scorpio will will into existence, and that's what I mean by cast a spell. Scorpio will will something into existence because of their desires. Because when they're unhealed, they live and die by their desires. And that's it. Ethics? What are ethics? What are ethics? They will transform the ethics as needed to accommodate their selfish needs. And they would do it proudly and defend it till the day they die. Because they would rather defend it than own up to the fact that they need to mature. They have some growing up to do. And that was inappropriate. And just because you feel something doesn't mean you need to express it or do something about it. They don't want to admit to that. That the issue is the lack of self-control, and discipline. Because they want to see themselves as tough and strong. But when you meet a balanced Scorpio versus a non-balanced Scorpio, night and day. The balanced one is going to be so refreshing. These people don't even have to say anything. You're just happy to be near them. Because their energy is so healing, because they're so themselves. And they're so raw that you have no choice but just taste the freshness. Like they bring you something new. And I got to tell you, and I'm going to leave you guys with this. This is my astrology theory. And I want to keep talking about this. So I talk about how all 12 zodiac signs are like on a developmental wheel. And that wheel is the wheel of life, okay? And all of us go from Aries all the way to Pisces. So this is a theory I've talked about before. Thank you for my gift. And thank you to everyone for my gifts this evening. I really appreciate it. So another concept that dawned on me today was this association with the fact that up until we get to Scorpio, the zodiac signs don't quite know that they're also spiritual. So all of them are in the physical realm until we get to Scorpio. And when we get to Scorpio, the reason why Scorpio rules life and death is because you have to physically die to the physical realm and marry yourself more to the physical realm. Because you might notice that after Scorpio, all the zodiac signs become more and more gradually emotionally detached. Sagittarius is more detached than a Scorpio. Capricorn is more detached than a Sagittarius. Aquarius is even more detached than a Capricorn. And Pisces is gone and nowhere to be found. Have you noticed that? That detachment starts with Scorpio. So every time Scorpio resists doing the higher vibe thing, the spiritual thing, the higher calibration thing, over the physical thing and the desire thing and the I want it now thing, every time they vibe here instead of vibing here, they're elevated. And when they're dying, come back as the next sign, they would have already mastered some skills with, I feel this, and I feel like doing X, Y, and Z because I feel this thing that I don't want to feel and I hate it here. Right? That's the energy. Scorpio can have all of that and feel all of that and still do this. Their ability to experience deep feelings while still being able to make higher vibration decisions. That is the range of a master Scorpio. That's their range. Because when they stay here, they're not growing. The thing about Pluto is Pluto also represents what? Evolution. So when a Scorpio man has several children, he is evolving into the future. New generations of himself reproduce into the future. So when he dies, he's not really dead because he recreated himself in as many people as possible. And that's what Scorpio is about. Scorpio is about dying to the physical realm and being alive to the spiritual realm. And having loads of kids is how they do that sometimes. And sometimes they're deeply spiritual people. And a Scorpio who's low vibe has no connection with spirituality whatsoever because they're still wanting to be a Libra. And you notice those people are always sleeping with different people because they're still doing Libra energy, but with Scorpio mix. Because now we're aware that we can give birth to something new. We can cast a spell and create a new reality. But instead of using that to elevate our lives, which is where the money comes in for Scorpio, because they're very good at attracting money. They're very good at getting people to give them money to invest in them. So instead of working on disciplining themselves, so other people want to invest in them, they're over here not being their best version and not wanting to own up to the fact that they're only here because they chose to be here. That's pretty much it. So a lot of times the physical manifestation of all of their spells or dreams is what you will see in these vast arrays of failed relationships. It's their inability to let go of connections and to move on when the connection is no longer fulfilling. They don't know how to do that. So they find enmeshed and further complicate connections. So that's why Scorpio men have loads of children. Yay! And I will be pressed for you to find a Scorpio man in the public realm who does not have several children with several women. Few and far in between. Okay? Yeah. Comes with the territory of a Scorpio. That's just how it is. Alright guys, I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. We'll chat again. Okay? I love y'all. Bonne nuit. À plus.
You can book your astrology reading at intuitivehealing.com. You can also watch videos at Intuitive Healing here on YouTube for Astrology 101 content. Listen to the Aquarius podcast on Spotify, as well as here on YouTube for your horoscope. If you're interested in astrology and love connections, you can visit at Styled Under Libra. And of course, for health and wellness and holistic healing, visit at Styled Under Virgo for all of your astrology content. Thanks so much for watching.